Hey, hey, hey.
Welcome to Best Practices Unveiled. I am your host, Annette Eberhart, and this is a judgment-free zone. This space was created just for you for open, honest, and thought-provoking conversations. Here, our guests speak freely, our stories run deep, and together we uncover the practices that help shape our lives and strengthen communities. This is where transformation begins. So lean in, tap in, and get ready to evolve because the next level starts right here.
That's a good one. Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, how
Welcome
you
back.
doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Glad to be here.
Good. Yeah, I'm glad to have you. So, welcome back to Best Practices Unveiled, the podcast where we get real, raw, in this judgment free zone. Today, we're diving into a perspective that often doesn't get talked about enough, the experience of a male teacher in the early childcare classroom. So,
Yes.
we all know teaching is a calling, but what does it look like when a man answers this call? In the field of a predominantly female, what unique energy does he bring? What challenges does he face? And most importantly, how do the children benefit from his presence? So joining me today is Jeremy Sturdivant, aka Mr. J, your favorite preschool teacher, a passionate and dedicated lead pre-K teacher in Atlanta who's breaking stereotypes, building strong foundations, and showing us why representation matters in education. From
Yeah.
unforgettable classroom moments to real talk about the childcare landscape, today's conversation is going to be inspiring, authentic, and maybe even a little surprising. So let's jump in without any further ado, Mr. J.
Hey, how you doing? I'm so glad to be here today. So glad to speak on the man perspective of being in early childhood. So, um, let's do it. Let's give it our best shot today because these people need to know our side too. Because, like you say, it's predominantly women. This is a predominantly women field. So we always get the women, point of view and perspective of what goes on in the classroom. But it's a lot when you're trying to be not only just a male, but an African American male
Absolutely.
who's inside of the classroom, like you said, that's breaking stereotypes, that's putting culture inside of your school. I feel like every school should have at least one male, African American male inside of their school, just because of the
Absolutely.
culture and what we bring to the table as is the uniqueness of what kids want to see. And then us just being in that light of being caring and nurturing and just wanting to get down on the kid level to understand what's really wrong with the kid. It's just a different light shining on us.
I agree wholeheartedly. And that's a great perspective to kind of bring us into this conversation. So I appreciate that. Before we jump right in, though, can you give us a little of your backstory? Tell us a little bit about Mr. J.
So I'm originally from York, Alabama. It's a small little town. You would not find it on the map. So we're just gonna say Tuscaloosa. I was born in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and I went to college in Concordia College in Selma, Alabama. Before we get to all of that, I was raised with three sisters and one brother who suffered from Down syndrome, which is my why of how I became an educator. Um, my brother died in 2011 because of Down syndrome, which is his superpower. He had a lot of fluid on his heart. He was born with a hole in his heart, so had a lot of fluid on his body, and he just didn't live past 21. My whole life, I had to learn patience with just being around him. He was my oldest brother, but because of his superpower, he always looked it up to me as if I was the older brother, including my other three sisters. So they gave me that big brother rank when I was a real small, but just dealing with my brother and his superpower at a young age, back in the 90s, superpower wasn't accepted as much as it is now. Like people used to
Right.
make fun of you. People used to, because you looked at different people, used to talk about how you look. They used to basically just, downgrade you and make you feel like you was nothing if they weren't your family. So a
Right.
lot of times I found myself fighting for my brother when I was younger, and I wanted to teach him things because I wanted him to be regular like me, not understanding that he was already regular in his own little way. But I was still a kid. I wanted him to understand, like, how to understand other kids, how to understand that sometimes you may not be able to play with everybody. He didn't understand that because of his superpower, but I still stayed around to teach him these things. Showed him how to play kickball, showed him how to play basketball, showed him how to ride a bike. Being able, he had a little speech delay as well, so I used to sit down at night and we used to just say things. I used to tell him things, and I could understand anything he could say, but the rest of the family could not. So even back then, God was already preparing me to be an educator, and I didn't even know it. I was just loving my person because he was in my family. He's my brother. But if we think about it right now, me being in that pre-K classroom in early childhood, all of them kids are my little brothers and sisters. I give them all of that. If I treat them kids the same way I treated my brother, then I'm going to get the same results. That love, that caring, and then we fixing our future. But even then, I just wanted to make sure that my brother would be ready for the future when I'm not around. I thought I had time. I started going to college and things like that, but unfortunately, I lost him while being in college, and I never got a chance to tell him how proud I was of him and things like that. So I lost a lot of love after losing him, and then I messed around and lost my mom in 2013. Right after that, so I went through a real tough phase and really started believing in God. Started being a club promoter. A whole lot of things happened before I became a pre-K teacher. Being a pre-K teacher really wasn't on my life agenda.
Wow.
I just wanted to be educated, but I wanted to be a mathematical secondary teacher, a secondary mathematical teacher. But I never wanted to be pre-K, so I know this is God. This is God's work. And then before I even became that, I was in the club team. I was a club promoter. I thought I was gonna be the best club promoter in the world, but God had other plans for my life. Even when I gave up on Him, He still didn't give up on me, and that's why I know, like you say, teaching is a calling because you'd asked me coming into college, was I gonna be a babysitter or a pre-K teacher? I would have told you, oh no, this I don't babysit. That's not what I do. But when God places something on your journey and is in you, this is where I became. And like I say, He was working on me when I was younger with my brother. All these things that I was doing with my brothers, exactly the same things I'm doing now with these pre-K students every day. Getting out on their level, helping them learn how to, speak well, letting them know the basics of life, the basic skills, the foundation. And I just remember, all I can remember is I used to do this with my brother all the time. And I thought I lost so much love then, but God gave me so much more love after losing him. And I also found myself in my career and look what I'm doing now. So that's just a little bit about me. I'm from York, Alabama. I'm a little rural town, one gas station, a drugstore and a dollar store. Um, I went to college at a HBCU in Selma, Alabama, where I basically learned everything I needed to know about life because it was the toughest time. If you can make it in Selma, Alabama, you can make it anywhere.
Anywhere.
And
I
then
know
just
that's right.
going through adversity of losing my mom and losing my only brother. God has been working on me on this journey, and it's been 11 years in, and I have accepted the faith of who I am and what God has put in my place. And I'm ready to just continue to take forward with it. And as you can see, I record it because I know it's not the norm, but I know God is using me daily, and I'm allowing that to happen.
Yeah, that's how that's an amazing story, And when we met, I didn't know that
I
part.
know we didn't get a chance to talk about none of this,
Yeah,
right?
I
We
didn't
were
know
just,
that part about you. I
yeah,
do remember you speaking about your brother a little bit.
yeah,
But when I reconnected, I missed that piece. So that's amazing, and to be in a space where you were able to be that light for him and
yeah.
that protection. Because you're right, I had another podcast guest, Shannon Estern, and we were just speaking about accepting. I know growing up, when I was growing up, it wasn't something that was talked about. Children with special powers, you know what I mean?
No,
Abilities.
they used to word like retard and special ed, and they used to really downgrade kids who really had their superpower and disability. Now we kind of covered it up a little bit. We're a little sensitive to the matter and things like that. But back in the '90s, early '90s, wasn't none of that happening. People just called it what it was, and you just accepted it, or you cried about it, you got in your feelings, and it wasn't right. And I faced it firsthand, just watching my brother go through it, and that made me fight for him. But not only did it make me fight for him, I fight for every student I've had for the last 11 years,
Yes.
just because I had to fight for him in during that time, because I learned at an early age. that this is not something you do. This is not how you treat people, no matter who or what they are or what they look like or what disability they have. You don't treat people like that. And I feel like that's where my heart always been. Even then, when I was out in the streets and I was in the club scene and I was doing everything under the sun, I always had a good heart because of how I was upbringing by my grandmama, my praying Baptist grandmama, and just being able to just learn experiences about raising my brother day by day because it wasn't easy.
Right. So you've been advocating all your life.
All my life. All
You've
my
been an
life. And didn't
advocate.
even
Yeah.
understand like this is going to be your career. This is what you're going to be doing. You talking about now me being able to travel the world to speak to other educators and train other educators. And I went to a school where we didn't even really learn how to read or speak in front of people at all. Like it took me to graduate all the way to my senior year of college to really believe in myself that I can be somewhat of a speaker, and I still didn't know nothing then. Then God said, "Okay, I'm gonna make you a teacher, but I'm not done with you. I want you to go around the world and share your story, and also help educate other people so they can look at you and be inspired by you and what you're doing." I know He using me.
Right.
Like you can't tell me nothing else because I know where I was and I know where I am now, and it's two different sceneries. It's two different journeys. I know God is using me, and I'm allowing Him to.
That's amazing. So when did it switch for you? When did you get the call and say, okay, this is my calling and I'm going in here and I'm going to be the best that I can be for these babies? You know what I mean? When did
Yeah.
that happen for you?
So, like I said, after being in the club scene, I got robbed twice. The second time I got robbed at gunpoint and things like that. So this was when the turnaround of my whole life started to happen. I started saying I didn't. I got robbed that night. Had some volleyball girls in the car, all type of things, put other people's life in danger. I thank the grace of God, I got away. I called my grandma that night, and I told her she a praying Baptist woman. Me and her got on that phone that night, and I basically just had a one-on-one, a reality check, or what you call a soul check, soul searching for myself. And I explained to her, I said, "Mom, I don't want to live this life anymore. Like, I don't want to continue to live like this, look over my shoulders, you know what I mean, making sure that I got everything on me so I don't get got before I get somebody else. This fast money, it was just too much. And I knew I had so much more to offer, and I already had degrees. I just wasn't using them because I wanted to follow up behind my friends, my cousins, my uncles. I wanted to live up to a certain lifestyle, in the environment you was in. That's
Right.
what I wanted to do, not understanding that God was setting me up for greatness even when I was younger. But I couldn't see that because I was so young minded, and that thing, the important things didn't matter to me. So once I sat down and we had that one on one, and she prayed for me, my grandma basically told me like, "Baby, I've been telling you that that wasn't your life.
Right.
God is going to use you, baby, more than you know. You just have to believe in that, and you have to get away." And she told me, "Can't nobody fix that but you." And that night, I don't know what she said differently that night than she said any other day because she told me that all the time. But after that night, I really realized that it's either I go back to what I was doing and die or kill somebody and be in jail for the rest of my life or be dead, or I can really go ahead and make a positive impact because I know I have something inside of me that I can give and offer.
Right.
So I told my grandma after I only had 2 degrees right then. I left the club alone. I was only supposed to get one more degree from my college, but I ended up getting two more because I had already passed the test and I was already certified as an educator. So they gave me another associate as well. So I graduated my HBCU with 4 degrees. God gave me 4 degrees. I left that club scene alone, moved to Atlanta, Georgia, with a Chrysler 300, 4 degrees, and about $60. I slept in my car for like a month and a half, but I got a job at a family-owned child care center called Chestnut Treehouse. They gave me a job, and I worked there for a whole month and a half before I could get my first check. Got my first check, went and put it down on the apartment. I still slept in my apartment for like 3, 4 months with no furniture, but still going to work every day, shirt and tie on, smiling because I knew God was using me. I knew God was setting me up for greatness. I didn't care what I did not have because I understand I could have had it if I went back, if I go back to Alabama and
You're
get
right.
in the streets and do it. But I also had never been to Atlanta in my life, and being able to live. Atlanta is Hollywood to Alabama. We only come here for Christmas, New Year's, or we got income tax checks. So to move here and be able to be stable, oh, that was different, you
I
know.
know that's right.
So
Yes.
the perception for me was to get out, learn more, take it back to your family, and bring your family where you are. Like that was
Yes.
my whole goal because all of my family still is in Alabama now. I've been here 11 years. But I'd have been through adversity. I'd have been homeless. I'd have been evicted. I'd have had to go through everything because this is what life brings you. But like I say, the turning point was for me when I got inside that classroom in that family owned childcare center. The appreciation that I saw, not only from the children, but from the parents, from the staff, of what I was doing for the kids and how I was doing it. I had never been appreciated like that in my life from anyone. But you talking about multiple people that really loving me, and I had lost so much already. I had lost my brother, I had lost my mama, so being around them kids was my safe place. Me getting up every morning and going to work, I was happy. I wasn't crying. I wasn't in my mind. Like when I got off work, I was crying when I was in my car because I'm like, God, why am I sleeping in my car? Why did I move away from Alabama just to move to Atlanta? But it wasn't a struggle he was taking me through. He was trying to see how much faith I had in him. And once I started to understand all of these little things, because I started growing up and becoming a real man and not a little boy mind, then I started to be intentional about everything that I did, about
Wow.
going to work, about how I'm going to teach these little kids. And I was in Stone Mountain, so it was a lot of little kids that looked like me. So I had
Right.
to go in there and it had to be different because they had to accept something they had never seen before. I'm a man they had never seen. A lot of them little girls looking at me like, why you in here? We
And I'm
ain't never
sure it
seen
was
you.
impactful for them because a lot of the children that you serve don't have fathers in their homes, or
Fathers,
that
grandfathers,
male.
uncles, nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So some of them was looking like this. Some of them was coming up and hugging me because, like you said, they ain't never seen it, so they trying to adjust to it. And then about the middle of the year, everybody loved me. Everybody loved me. And I had a paraprofessional that had been in the game for 25 years. She said, "Baby, if you're coachable and you're teachable, I'll teach you everything you need to know." Out of the blue one day, she just walked up to me and told me that. And I told her I am. I said, I'll let you teach. And she was my assistant teacher. She wanted to be the assistant teacher. She could have been a lead teacher all she wanted to. She didn't want the responsibility because she was she was elderly. She was up in her years. She didn't want to deal with all the paperwork of it. She said, but I'll teach you everything you need to know if you're coachable. And I told her. I said, her name was Miss Hubbard. I said, Miss Hubbard, I am coachable. I will listen to anything. And she showed me everything I needed to know. She took over that classroom as an assistant, and I took the title of the lead teacher, but I was in the background. I watched her do everything how it needs to be done
She
by the
passed
board.
the baton. That's what we're
She passed
supposed
it.
to do. She
She
passed
passed
the
it, but a
baton.
lot of but a lot of
Absolutely.
paraprofessionals don't do it because a lot of them be stuck on, oh, he don't know what he doing, he young, I've been running this classroom, why you ain't paying me this and all of that. But that wasn't
Right.
gave it to me. God set me up with the perfect plan. When I tell you and I've been teaching now for the last past 11 years, I done became one of the best pre-K teachers in the world.
That's
Not just because it
amazing.
was just my own doing, because Miss Hubbard put her little times in it. God did it. The parents did it. The
Yeah, the
other
village, community
it was
village.
a village.
Yes,
They all built me
absolutely.
up. They all built me up
Absolutely.
one by one. Even the bad sinners, they all built me up because even in the badness and even in the disrespectfulness, I learned something from it. I
Yeah.
learned what to do and what not to do, how to handle myself, how not to handle myself. So many things that I learned on the journey.
Oh, that's
So I knew
amazing.
already, like maybe to my second year of teaching, I said, this is what I really want to do. It was so impactful. And I said, if I'm going to do anything, because I know how to do a lot of bad things. I was doing a lot of bad things 100%. So I told God, if you take me out of this and you put me, if you really this what if I'm gonna be a pre-K teacher, I had a one-on-one with God too. If I'm gonna be a pre-K teacher, God, I want to be the best pre-K teacher in the world. That's just how I was meant. When I played basketball, I wanted to be the best. When I played cards, I wanted to be the best. When I played football, I wanted to be the best. When I
Right.
was in them clubs, I wanted to be the best club promoter. So if you gonna say I'm gonna be a pre-K teacher, I need you to equip me with everything I needed. And at the time, I wasn't equipped. Didn't know how to really speak well. Really, really country and slang. Was really, really young. Didn't have no really understanding of how to be an educator. I
Right.
just knew how to be a parent. So I had so many odds against me, but God set me up with the perfect plan and the perfect people. And like I said, it's been going on for 11 years now, and I just accepted it like I say, year two. And I said, God, this is what I want to do. I know this is where I want to be because I can feel my brother presence in this room. When I'm in there and
Right.
I'm teaching, I can feel my brother in there just basically having fun with the kids because this is where I need to be at. This is where I
Right.
always needed to be at. And I love it. I love being
Yeah.
an educator.
That's amazing. I see how active you are with the kids too, and how they, when you're on IG and you're doing little activities and stuff with the kids, they are so into it.
Yes,
You know what I mean? They are so happy to be there, and you seem like you're really into your job. You're passionate about your work, and you can see it. You know what I mean?
yes.
One thing that is for sure, kids can feel your energy.
Yes,
You know?
that's why I always tell them. Even though I'm a man, and sometimes they be fighting about me, by day two, day three, them kids feel my energy so much. Like right now, my kids come up and Mr. J, can I get a hug all day long? The first 2 days, first 3 days, they were crying every day. They didn't even want me to touch them. They was timid. They didn't even want me to touch them and things like that. But one thing kids can do is they can feel your energy. They
Yes.
know if you bad, if you got a little bad soul, they know. And they know if you are caring and nurturing and loving because they know it because they see it at home
Yes.
all the time. They can feel what's good and what's not good. My babies feel so safe in that classroom, and that's why I'm able to have them in tune and engaged when we're doing activities in that classroom because I love them the first. The first 3 weeks of school, we don't learn nothing. I'm just giving love. That's it. Love because I know these kids need that, especially these COVID babies. They
Yes.
need love. They need somebody that want to get down on their level to really actually understand.
Yes.
I do it. I'm gonna get down. You crying? I'm gonna get down. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna talk about it until you get better. I'm
Yes.
gonna find out your interests because I need to know that. I need to know what you like, what you don't like, what ticks you off, what don't tick you off. I'm gonna learn about all that in the first 3 weeks. Yeah, I'll be on the grind too. Thank God I only got like 9 students this year, but I used to have 22. And I used to do the same thing because I gotta know who I'm dealing with in order
Yes.
to meet the needs of what they need for me to do for them.
True. And I think that's so important. And I think as an educator, adult educators, we get that so messed up sometimes because
Yeah.
we feel like we're adults and they are children, and we
Yep.
they have to listen. It's the same. It's a mutual respect. We got to get down on their level and
I
learn.
become a 5 year old immediately when I get out of my car. Like you just said, if we go in there with our adult minds, we're gonna treat them kids like our adult mind tell us to treat them. They're kids. I'm their adult. Listen to me, no matter if we right or wrong. But if you go in there as a 5 year old, some of them things that you think that them kids they really be doing something bad, they really don't be doing nothing bad. They do things as a 5 year old brain do. You just have to redirect their mind in a positive way. But we don't think like that because our adult mind take over before anything. And
Yes.
I'm talking from experience. I'm not out here just talking like, oh, I do this. I've been doing this since day one. Nope. I had to learn this because I used to attack a lot of things in my beginning years with my adult mind and my parent mind. And even though I thought I was being an intentional teacher, I was not. I was tearing down the kids. I was belittling the kids. I was making the kids feel like they wasn't good enough, instead of just making that kid in that moment, making that moment a teachable moment. Because I'm a 5 year old now. I
Right.
would probably did that too. That's why I say I see a kid go over there sometime and pop a kid because a kid did something. I'm like, oh, I probably did that too. But let me go over here and talk. It makes sense. I
Right.
know why you did that because I got a 5 year old mind now. I'm going in with that 5 year old mind. But if I go in there with my adult mind, I'm going to, like you said, we're going to attack the situation as an adult supposed to attack it. And
Right.
not telling you to turn your adult mind all the way off, but you got to look at it from both point of view. You can't just go in with one point of view because that's the way you're going to attack the situation. And
Yeah.
me being an educator for, like I said, 10 plus years, I've learned that you just don't supposed to attack every situation just one way. Any situation, one way.
Yeah.
Look at it different ways. Make it make sense. Make it a teachable moment.
Yes, I agree. You got to pick your battles.
Pick your battle.
Yeah, you got to pick your battles. So a lot of there's been a lot of changes and challenges in childcare recently. Thinking
Mhm.
about the state of childcare in Atlanta today, what's a positive trend you see that gives you hope for the future for the children that you serve?
Right now, like I said, I started with maybe 2019 when I really 2018 when I really started recording in the classroom. Recording in the classroom was not really a big thing. You
Right,
could not record in the classroom out here in Atlanta, Georgia. So I kind of started breaking some little rules because I really wanted the world to see a man in the light of being an educator. I wanted them to know we wasn't babysitters. I wanted them to know we can be nurturing. I wanted them to know I can get down on a level and redirect the kid brain and make them feel like the negative situation is no longer a negative situation because they don't see men being vulnerable like that, especially African American men. We only can play sports, be rappers, sell drugs. These are the things that we are known for. But
right,
being in a classroom with babies and having patience, oh, they ain't never seen no brother do nothing like that. So what I have been seeing lately and today in Atlanta is a lot of educators are recording them engaging with their students. them
Mhm.
teaching their students, how their students are responding back to them. And I was like I said, I remember a time when I first moved here, you can record not one student. People used to ask me all the time, "Oh my God, you recording your students? Oh my God, why are you letting people see their face? How do their parents feel about this?" Now
Right.
the whole world is recording. But one thing I see in Atlanta is doing, like I say, I see a lot of Atlanta teaching are going to the technology and recording things and putting
Yeah.
things on. Like Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark has always had a media team to record his school and how his students do. And people love Ryan Clark for it. You know, they're like, wow, that is amazing. That is amazing school. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, okay, why don't all schools have a social media or a media team where you go in and you observe your teachers doing great with the students and their interaction? If don't nobody want to see it, the parents want to see their kids in the classroom having an interaction.
Yes,
These
they do.
people think when I post these videos on here that okay, it's just for y'all. Yeah, I'm giving it to y'all so y'all can use some resources. But these parents out here, some of these people don't want to be these kids' parents in my classroom and they be excited for the kids. They're like, oh my God, look at the excitement. Look at the kids doing this. Look how they redirecting themselves and things like that. It makes parents have hope that their kids know that I can take my kids to child care. They're going to be safe. I want my kid to have a teacher like this that is involved, engaged. Like it brings hope. It brings
Sense of
expectation.
security. Yes.
Yes, it does. And that's one thing I see now that is getting a lot better. Like we're taking technology and we're using it for something useful and not something negative. We are actually engaging in it. You see now principals are recording themselves, posing with the teachers and doing little things. You building team chemistry. Like this is something that is going to be great for the future. We
Yeah.
need these type of things because education after COVID was going it was
Yes.
going down. People didn't want to be at work no more. People didn't want to be around the kids. People didn't want to have patience. So you doing the small things in the schools now to bring excitement to the educators and to the
Yes.
students and to the environment. It's a win-win, and
Yes.
I love that. I love that for everybody. And like I said, even when I was doing it, even though I knew it would probably get a little negativity, I knew the positivity would outdo the negativity because of the engagement that people would see from what I was posting on my page with my students. So, and now everybody in the world is basically, doing the same thing, and I
I
love it.
get a little
I
sneak.
love it.
That social connection is very.
Yeah, that social connection is big now, especially in this technology world.
Yeah, yeah, and it does bring a sense of security for parents when they see, even with the cameras. You remember
Yes.
the first thing, like your video cameras, security cameras, and certain what do you call it, platforms allow parents to tap in
Yeah.
to classrooms at certain times. They may
Yeah.
allow parents to see, the kids being engaging in their activities during the
I
class.
mean, because who don't want to see it as a parent? Who don't want to see that? Who
Definitely.
you're a first time parent putting your kid inside of a child care center. You want to know what type of interaction your kid got going. Is your kid being friendly? Do your kid like their teacher? Do your kid teacher like your child? These are little things you gotta know. But once you see videos like that, you automatically know what your heart is just full. I
Right.
know my baby safe. I know
Right.
my baby safe. Not only is my baby safe, my baby is gonna be a genius because she got a teacher that cares. Who don't want their child to have a teacher that cares? And I
Right.
try to do that from a man perspective because it's not accepted. It's not the norm. They don't expect for me to be that way. They don't. Them kids don't come in for they think I'm gonna get up and dance and jump up and down and get messy and paint everything. They don't think none of these things are gonna happen with me. They
Right.
think I'm gonna fuss all day, say stop, sit down, you can't talk. No, I want you to talk. No, I want you to run. No, I want you to hop. Yeah, let's do it. They not expecting these things. So by them not expecting it, once they see me do it with them, oh, it's automatically acceptance from all my babies. Bingo, I got everybody. So
Yes.
now I do what y'all want, then y'all gonna be eager to do what I want y'all to do. And
Absolutely.
me sitting down for small group, I have no problem with nobody. 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 I don't have no problem saying, hey, go sit down and listen. I don't have to go say sit down. After we clean up, they automatically transition over and sit down and be ready. Mr. J, so what we got to do today?
They ready.
They ready. We only been in school for what, 2 months, 3 months? Like,
Yeah.
we ready.
Could you allow them to be themselves? You know what I
I
mean?
do. It's their classroom.
Yeah, and when you allow them to be free, like you just said, jumping around and making a mess, and they're not being told no all the time,
Right.
you build on their creativity.
Yes.
When we tell them to sit down, shut up, don't move, don't, no, 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 we just kill. Just think of what
You
that does
killing
to
them.
your spirit.
Yeah.
That's crazy. We don't really think about it. Like you said, being in the space of a 5-year-old, a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old's mindset, they're learning their environment, they're learning their space, they're learning how to be social, they're learning, the interactions with adult and child relationship. And it's important to build that trust, I think, like you said, from day one. And it may
Yeah.
not be all in one day. So I think that is awesome that you said you take weeks, to kind of connect with each child to learn, how they learn and how you can best bring the best out of them. That's
Yes.
amazing. That's
Yes.
amazing. Because even as parents, sometimes we understand and know as educators, children don't get that at home because parents are not as patient, right?
And parents are not going to let you do the norm. They're going to do what parents say. What I said. Don't do it. As
Right.
educators, sometimes we give a little option, especially with new generational kids. Give them options so you can see their creativity of their critical thinking. How are they thinking? How they want to do this? How they want to move? We're trying to build great, critical thinkers. But how can we do that when we always saying no? Don't do that. Oh, don't touch that. Don't do that. They're never going to experience what to do and what not to do if they don't do it. Let
Yeah.
them do it. Let them see the outcome. Then you explain everything is a teachable moment.
Yes. Teach consequences too, because sometimes,
Yeah,
it could be a positive one, and sometimes
it
it
can
could
be a
be a
negative
little
one.
hot, right?
Yeah, but you gotta let them experience it so they can see and understand why they got that consequence. And I do it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go run, if we got walking feet on the wall right there, but you go run in the block area and you fall down, then we're gonna automatically say, okay, you fell down. I allowed you to run, you hurt yourself. What do that sign say right there? Walking feet. So we know that they say walking feet right there in the block center. So next time what we're gonna do? We're gonna walk. But consequently, you have to run through there. I have to allow you to go do that. Don't fuss at you because you obviously didn't understand what to do in that area at that time. And if you did, you rebelled on it, you did it. So now we got to go. Let's talk about it. Let's
Right.
go back, redirect your mind. Let's put in a positive manner. Because even when we're adults, we get told things all the time. What we do, we still go and do the same thing that we don't supposed to
That's
do.
right.
So
Yes.
you don't think a 5-year-old gonna go back and do the same thing the next 5 minutes? They are. You're gonna do the same thing the next time, and the same thing the next time, and to the point where if it gets out of hand, and you say, "Hey, you're not allowed over there in that block center until we go over completely what the rules are." But then not only that, model. Stop telling kids no. Stop telling kids I don't want you to do that. Model to them what you want them to do and what you don't want you to do. If
Yeah.
one thing you see on my page is Mr. J gonna model, I'm a model because I can't sit there and tell them no, I don't want you to do that or don't do this, don't do that if I never model to them not to do it. We tell kids all the time, don't cut your hair, don't do that, don't do that, but we never tell them how the proper way how to use scissors
Mm.
until they get to what? Kindergarten, first grade. But we should be teaching our kids when they're young, like, hey, we don't do this, we don't do this, we don't do this way before they get to school. But then
Right.
they get to school, they're like, oh Lord, this look cuttable. Oh, I learned how to do something new.
Right. They're gonna braid.
They're gonna cut it. We
Yeah.
get it all the time, but we never understand. And if you see me, I'm always every year I'm teaching my kids about scissors. Do we cut this? Do we cut our hair? Do we cut our skin because it'll make us bleed? Little thing. We watch videos about it because if you don't teach the mind, if they don't experience it, they're not going to do it. We're adults. We learn from what we do, what we experience, and how we experience things. That's how we
Right.
learn from. If
Right.
people teach us something, we're like, oh, okay, then I know that. But when we experience it, we're like, oh, okay, I know that's hot because I burnt myself on that.
Yes.
So it makes sense. But we got to teach our baby. We got to model to our baby what we want them to do and what we don't want them to do.
Yeah.
Instead of
And
just
you know
saying
what?
no all the time.
It's a struggle, Jay, even with from what you just said, as far as experience is the best teacher.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
even with my adult children, you can, and I'm sure you can think about it too with your grandma. You said she pretty much
Yeah.
once your mother left, to telling you about certain things, and we try to educate so that they don't have the negative experience, right?
Yes.
Sometimes you gotta let them experience it because you tell them over and over again,
And
and
they always come back and say, "What, Mama, you was right.
yeah,
Mama, I know that I should have did better." Because
yes,
not only because you told them, because experience showed them more. We
yes,
can only educate them just a little bit, but if they experience what is going on, they're gonna learn more from it because it's a hands-on experience. It's right there. It's reality to them right then.
yes,
So sometimes, like you say, you just gotta let them do it. Even though we teach them, we still gotta let them experience.
yes.
And
That's
we can't just go and beat them up in that moment because we feel like they knew better. Sometimes they don't. And even if they do know better, they messed up. Let's go make it a teachable moment. Like you say, make it a consequence, but also make it a teachable moment. Teach them or model to them what needs to be done.
right.
And if they don't
Differently.
do that, experience will get them. Experience
Yes.
is the best teacher in the world.
Yes. I agree. I agree. Um. So with all that you do in the classroom, has there ever been conflict with parents who don't want a male figure for their children? Yeah, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I teach now, but I started teaching maybe 6 years ago in Gwinnett, in Georgia. And Gwinnett is a real diverse area in Georgia. I teach in what we call North Cross. Very diverse. And what was happening was when I first got to this Goddard school was predominantly Caucasian, but it had like maybe 1% African American. So I might have had two African American kids in there. You have one Asian kid, a kid
Right.
from Venezuela, and then you have all, but they still Caucasian kids. But I had a lot of Caucasian parents that was coming in my first year when they came in. I dress with my shirt and tie, but some days I go in with my retros on and my hair down, and I'm still Mr. J.
Right.
So my first year when I got there, these parents talk. When they see a man in the building, he going into the little kids' classroom. So the first question is, well, who's gonna be helping with bathrooms?
Right.
I've been covered. I've been teaching this for a long time. I know what to do and what not to do when it comes to bathroom. But still, parents with their adult mind, or why this African American man in the classroom with the babies, who gonna take the kids to the bathroom? Not thinking that I got 22 kids, I'm gonna have a professional.
Right.
Anyways. But then I had parents who just basically take their kids out of the system. Take their kids out of the system. Kids that have been going to the school since they was infants.
Wow.
Get the job, they take their kids out of school. One parent told the director, I don't even look like I'm qualified to even be an educator. I'm sitting on 4 degrees now. They I don't look like I'm qualified to be an educator. He don't dress like an educator. Like why is he dressed like that? Boom boom boom. And then some just don't say anything. Some just pull their kids out and don't come back. But what that did for me was it hurt it. I heard it. I seen it with my own eyes. But the few that believed in me, so if we supposed to have 22 and they left me with 18, I gave them it made me give them 18 everything I had and more because of them three that left. And although I was going to already give them greatness and what I had.
Join us, FDEM Kids Parent Happy Hour on December 13th is for parents just like you. Same struggles, same love, same chaos. Come let off some steam, laugh it out, and relax in a safe space made for real-life parents.
What I had, it makes me get them 10 times more
Yes.
after the kids leave. And that's why we done been on the Cedric Entertainment Show. That's why we done went viral year after year after year because I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show you through the kids the type of person I am, the type of man I am, no matter how I look, no matter how I'm dressed, no matter how you perceive me. This is what God gave me, and this is what God placed me. So you got to accept it no matter what. And if you taking your kid out of the system, then stop me from being great. You just enhanced it. You don't put a little fuel on the fire. So like I say, and all that did was just made me better. And I took it in. I could have made a negative situation and went up and blew up about it. And y'all this and y'all that. But instead, I embraced it and I took it in. And even though it hurt, and I called my grandma, I cried plenty of nights because it hurt my feelings. And I felt bad and I had never experienced it. But I went back in that classroom the next day and I taught like I never taught before. I was engaging like I was never engaging before. I was down on them kids' levels every day, making sure that them kids had everything they need. I had nonverbal kids in that classroom, like I told you, Spanish. They didn't even know who I was, what I was saying. But before they got to May, they was talking. They were completing small groups. They were completing assessments. They was loving me. They didn't want to leave. These are the things that makes me come back to year after year because of the impact I know I have on these kids. No matter what color, no matter what culture, no matter where they come from, I can. And that's the superpower that God gave me from dealing with my brother that had a superpower in the early years. I can reach any kid, and every teacher can't do that. Every teacher can't reach every kid. They don't know how. But
Yeah.
God has gave me a superpower, a gift to be able to understand any kid that come in my classroom and be able to teach them. Not because I just supposed to, but because I'm willing
Right.
to learn how to adapt, and I'm willing, I'm passionate to the point where I want to understand what's wrong, what can I do, how can I do it, what I need to do to reach you, to make you learn. Anything. It can be just open up a milk carton. If that's the only thing you learned in the year and you didn't know before you came in, I won. You learned something new.
Absolutely.
But these are the things that I take pride in. So being in those negative situations is taken out. And then I work, you work with nothing but women. So I don't work in a center where directors just wanted to tell me what just wanted to boss me around just because I was a man. Like you experience so many crazy things. Just wanted to tell me to do this, tell me to do that, and had nothing to do with education just because they were bossing around a man, because they had been bossing around women so long. It's power, But you experience these negative and these positive situations to let you know what's going on. My ultimate goal is to be a child care owner myself. So if I ain't experienced some of these things that going on, I would never know. God still set me up to this day for my ultimate goal, and I just learned all of it and just hold it all in and just hope for the best and pray and have faith that God's gonna make me come on through.
Wow. I love the resilience and tenacity you bring. You
Hmm.
know, you're very vulnerable and open with your experiences.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. So you just touched on something. You gave us a story about the assistant who helped you and taught you as a
Yeah.
female peer. And then you
Yeah.
shared how you had maybe a director who was not so positive,
Yeah.
hungry. What is that like? I mean, as a man, we got the yin and yang in there, male and female. How is that working? Are you the only male teacher right now? And
So
you,
right now we got two males in the building, but for 10 years straight, I was the only male in the building. I had to experience it every year, and it's different. It's a lot. My grandma always told me this right here, and I hold on to it. I tell people all the time, when you're around women, no matter what age it is, close your. She said, shut your mouth and listen. And when I tell you, I got old school now, and I got any Alabama or Southern or Baptist people on here, y'all know what that means. She said, when you're around women, all you got to do is shut your mouth and listen. So I started working with women early in my early years. I'm 30 plus now, so I understand it very well now. But in my early years, I used to always just used to be in there, and women just y'all talk about whatever y'all want to talk. And I used to be in a room and I used to be in there, and the only thing I should hear in my head, shut your mouth and listen. So I just want you to know, just being the only man in a women field and just going in daily, 90 days throughout a year, it's definitely a up and down situation. I didn't heard it all. I didn't seen it all. Seeing the employees fight each other, and as a man, as a grown man, I stay out of it. I shut my mouth and I just listen. If it come in my room and they want to talk about it, cool. Yep, yep, yep. But boom. Once she's out of there, I don't want to hear nothing else about it because it got nothing to do with me. And for 11 years, I've been on a clean slate because I don't get in no drama or no women drama when it come down to anything like that. But I do understand that everybody have their own perspective about things and how things should be with them. So as a man, I stay in my own classroom, my own little lane, and I shut my mouth and I listen. That's it.
that's how you stay safe,
That's
huh?
how I stay safe. Listen, my grandma called me every day. Shut your mouth. Listen. That's it. So I learned that early on, and it stick with me to this day.
That's a good piece of advice. Man,
Yeah.
y'all listen up. No, I'm just kidding, but that is a good
Any mans are watching, shut your mouth, listen, do your work. That's it. That's all you got to do. It's gonna come across your table every time because you in the field. You in
yes.
the field, so it gonna run by your ear. But don't let it run and let it run straight on out. That's it. Don't get involved in that, man. It ain't even worth it.
Because as women, we're a little more emotional. So
Yeah, yeah,
we see, we may take the heart, and
yeah.
man, that ain't even nothing that you have no conversation about, right?
Listen, from a man point of view, sometimes I'll be looking like, man, that's just a mess. Nah, that's just a mess. I ain't got time for it. Listen, I ain't got time for nobody else mess, drama, nothing. Listen, I'm in a stress-free world. We already got to deal with the kids. You think I'm gonna be in here, man? No way. No
Yes.
way. But
Yeah.
yeah,
You got to find
yeah,
your balance, right? Find your
yeah.
balance.
Find your balance.
So, what is one of the biggest misconceptions you think people have about early learning, preschool teachers, early educators?
They think we babysitters. They think we babysitters, and from my perspective, most parents be want to know why you teaching pre-K. Like,
You could
why
that
you ain't
answer.
working on a road or something? Why you ain't building some bridge? Like, why you teaching pre-K? So normally, just speaking, you said we be real on here. Normally, when a man teaches pre-K, he's either
On the other
okay.
day.
So, but by me being who I am and standing on what I stand on, they don't expect for me to just be in there and be caring for them kids like I supposed to, you know. And what I mean by that is they expect for me to be hard, mean, tough, um, not knowing how to use, educational terms, maybe being there telling the kids, shut up, sit down, what y'all doing. But
Right.
I'm really in tune in my crowd, and they wouldn't know that unless they see my Instagram or they stay in the classroom with me a whole day. But just looking from a perception from outside, people in general don't think that when I tell them I'm a teacher, like, you a teacher? Not you. Yeah, I am.
Yeah, never judge a book by its cover. Open that book up and turn it.
Open it. Open it. Yeah, yeah. So I get it all the time, not just in the school system. I can be in Walmart. I can dress. I can go in there with a shirt on and some shorts with my hair down. They gonna charge me for all the change in the world. Oh yeah, I need the exact change. Give me $1.10. Don't leave it. I go in there with my shirt and tie on, with my hair pulled up, with my glasses on. We don't need that 10 cents today. You got it. You
Isn't
just see
that
the
something?
misconception. Yeah, yeah. So I get it. I get it everywhere I go. I get it everywhere I go, no matter what it is, and it comes with us. So they judge it. They come in. They thinking this and thinking that. But what I like to do is I like for them to see who I am through their kids. I teach their kids. I love on their kids. So only thing that happen when they go home is guess what they hear when they go home. Mr. J said, "Don't do that." Mr. J said. Mr. J said, and by the time they get from Mr. J and you all night, you gonna come back to school that day. You gonna be like, you know what? You might be alright. 'Cause my baby love you to death. My baby don't like kids. You know how many times I hear that every year? Every
Oh,
year.
that's amazing.
Yeah. So
Amazing.
it's always a misconception, but God is using me. They can't stop what God got for me.
I know that's right. I know that's right. That resilience.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? How can you help parents at home with learning and child development? I know you just said, even going home, your name is still ringing in the class,
Yeah.
home,
Yeah.
the classroom. But what type of advice can you, from a male's perspective, because like we said earlier, a lot of us don't have male role models in the home, for the children. So a lot of the children only get that experience in the classroom. But what is it that you can share with our listeners that can help them with child development from a male's perspective at home?
I would say definitely start having patience with your kids. Like I say, the adult mind that we have as parents sometimes make our patience a little bit short, especially after we've been working all day, coming home and cooking and getting things ready. Just start having patience with your kids. Sometimes don't tell your kids no all the time, especially if it's some things that you think they can learn something from. Allow them to experience, allow them to go through it so it can help them critical think better so they'll know next time the reason why they shouldn't have to go through that. Make every moment in that you go through or every situation, negative or positive, make it a teaching moment, a teachable moment. Like really make it a teachable moment. Don't just beat them or just whoop them and expect for them to learn from that. We have to teach them as well. We have to show them and model to them things that's supposed to happen. These kids are so technology minded, they don't even know basic life skills sometimes, really. And even
Yes.
though we think they should know, they still don't know it. And we have to regather that for them. We have to make sure that they have that because we don't want them to become adults and mid teenagers without these traits or these life skills, and then they out here doing any and everything. So just have patience with your kids. Um, Love on them. Allow them to be vulnerable with you. Allow them to communicate. Allow them to talk just to see how they think. You know.
Right. Right.
Always allow them to talk, but always make every moment a teachable moment. And not every moment has to be, oh, I'm gonna beat you down, or I'm gonna get you like this. Yes, things do need consequences, but also it should also be a teachable moment, and we should model what we want to see our kids do.
Good sound advice, Mr. J. Good sound advice. Patience is at the top for me.
Yeah, me
Um,
too. I'm a parent, so patience is tough for me. I teach all day. Sometimes my patient little battery be low, and I had to talk to
yes.
God, like God, give me patience, because I'm going ahead and deal with my own babies now.
Ain't
I
that
done
something?
had to, I done had some patience with these babies. Everybody else babies all day. I can at least go ahead and have a little patience for mine. I have to bring myself back to reality.
Yes. Yes. And I think that's okay. I think that's okay for parents to be in that space and understand that it's okay that you need to take a moment, but take that moment,
Yes,
get it together, regroup, because 10, 15, 20 minutes, maybe 30, give them that time to unload, engage with them, let them know that you're listening or what have you. I think that is very, very important. And I think that that will propel them into wanting to experience more as children, learn more,
yes,
be more receptive to even the discipline and things that are happening in the home and in school.
I definitely believe that too. So, like I said, just make sure that you're making your moments teachable with your own babies. Because
Right.
we do it with everybody else kids, and we try to do it, with ourselves. Why not do it with our own babies in
Right.
our own home? So that's one of my number one things.
Okay. Share with me and our listeners, what is one of the most rewarding, like a aha moment that you've witnessed, with one of your children that sticks with you?
So, like I said, I had a lot of students that came in, and they were bilingual, but they didn't know how to speak English fully yet. So they came in just speaking fully just Spanish. So really, we call it nonverbal, but really not, because they could speak Spanish. But I had this little girl named Banna. She came in. She would not speak. It took her 3 months. She would not say anything. But one thing about Banna was, every time I did anything, Banna sat right next to me, and it was during COVID. So she wore her mask. She would never talk. She would just do this and do this right here. So I would have to go get visual cues, like visual aids and things, and show her, like banyo for bathroom, latte for milk. And not only did it help her, but it helped me learn Spanish
Yes.
to be able to communicate with my Spanish students. And I never really wanted to. I learned a little bit in high school, but it was just for the grades. And then I got on out of that. But to really be able to communicate with a Spanish kid in your classroom for them to understand you, oh, I had to be real, real equipped. And I didn't get equipped enough until I got Banner. And what Banner did was, I'm trying to teach her how to speak English. Banner showed me how to teach Spanish. She was teaching me the whole time and didn't even know it. But so, like I said, I started making visual. My assistant got into it. She started making these visual aids. She said, so she won't talk to us. We gonna just hold up signs and pictures, and she gonna tell us what's going on. Because she would start peeing on herself, and she won't let us know. So we're like, no, 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 no. We ain't going backward. We gotta get something to get it go. So me and Banner, we'll sit down doing a small group, and Banner, she'll be pointing at every letter. Every time I did an assessment, she'll be pointing at it. She won't say nothing. She'll be like this right here. So I'll be like A. She'll be like, mm-hmm. I'll be like B. She'll be like C. And I'll just be saying them out while she pointing at them. She won't say nothing, but
Oh,
she'll point. I'll be like, shapes. I'll be like, okay, that's a diamond. That's a square. Boom, boom, boom. 3 months straight, nothing. After the 3 months, I think we got to November. I assessed them right before we was going to get out for the Thanksgiving break. I went. She's pulled her mask down. Banner. I said, Banner, do you know these letters? She did like this. I said, C. She said, C. I did like this. I said, oh, snap. She said, C back. I'm always telling my student, I'm like, hey, hey, hey. She said, C back. So I'm like, okay. I said, let's go. What this? She said, A. I didn't want to get too hyped because I was like, I'm scared. So I'm like, this.
right, right.
So that was out of order. It was like A, W, C, P, E, and she was just going. So my assistant get the camera, start recording. I got this recording. She like G, B, Z, X, boom, all the way down. She did the whole sheet and didn't miss nothing. When I tell you I ran up the whole hallway and called her mama right then, called her mama right then. Left the classroom. I had to go call her mama right then at work to let her mama know she was talking in English right then. But that was one of my biggest moments. And once she started talking English, she did not stop. She tells me, She terrorized every kid that ever tried to make fun of her, do anything to her. So the kids, when she used to go play, because she wouldn't talk for 3 months, the kids used to do her like this to tell her no. So after she started talking, she started going taking toys from kids now. And every time the kid was like, well, give me my toy back, give me my toy back. Even her best friend, guess what she started doing to him? They started coming to me crying, telling me Banner making them cry. I'm like, how y'all gonna say Banner? She ain't talk for 3 months. And now y'all want to tell me she making y'all cry because she doing stuff that y'all taught her. Y'all taught her that.
How to do that?
Y'all taught her how to do that. And y'all want me to go get on Banner and Banner over there in the corner like this. Laughing. I'm like, Lord Jesus. But these are just moments that I remember, and that was like maybe 3, 4 years ago. But these are just moments that I remember that just stick with me because of the relationships I build with my students, and
Right.
just to see how much they grow throughout the year. But that was a milestone for me. And she left the school teaching her mom how to speak English too. She was teaching her mom and her older sister how to speak, and she was really bright, really really smart. And I knew she was smart because she sat beside me every day. She listened to everything I had to say every day, but she would not say nothing.
She was taking
Right
it
beside
all.
me.
Let
She
me
was
tell you.
taking it all in. She was taking everything in and was a whole genius when she did start talking.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So on the flip side of that, Mr. J, what's the wildest thing that's ever happened? I know you talked about,
I had this kid named Caden Scott. And I love my Caden Scott to death. But boy, this Caden Scott, boy, he took me. He's the reason why I specialize in challenging behavior to this day. He's the reason why I have so much patience. He's the reason why I'm so passionate about getting down on a kid's level and learning them on a social emotional level. I had this kid named Caden, man. Caden gave me a run for my money my 3rd year of teaching. This is my year. I think I'm going to be the teacher of the year. I'm so intentional. I've been doing this 2 years already. I got my groove. I know how I'm gonna do my year. All that I know, Caden had something different. One thing about Caden was he was an okay kid, but Caden had some things to work on. Attitude, he was very busy. He didn't really like people, so he'll slap his classmates. He'll do anything. So what happened when Caden had young parents? Caden's parents were playing. His dad was playing college football. His mom was like a singer, so it was a lot going on. So Caden started coming to school every day. Caden would curse. Caden would kick. Caden would hit. Caden would tell me he didn't care about nothing. And every day he did it, I took him up to the office. I kept taking him to the office. I kept taking him to the office until one day I take him up. I'm like, Miss, I told my director, I said, my owner of the director, I said, hey, I can't take it. We got to send him home. And I don't give up on no kid.
right.
I can fix anything. I don't want to take kids to the point because I can fix this. I got it. I can't. I ain't have it. I ain't have it. I
Wow.
took him out there every day. And this one day, this last day, I took him out there. The director told me, she said, what's wrong? What he did? And I told her, I'm like, you been doing that. He did this Monday. He did this Tuesday. First thing she said, did you have a paper trail? Do I have a paper trail? I brought him up here every day that he did it. Do you got the paper trail? Like she made me upset with that question, but she was right. But you know how y'all do. You know how directors is. You have a paper trail. So then next one she said, what strategies or resources did you do? Did you do anything different? I'm like, who you talking to? Did I do anything different? Cause he bad and he do. She said, you know what? She said, you don't like Katie Scott. Oh my God, she told me, Mr. J, he didn't like kid. Oh yeah, you don't like Kaden Scott. Because if you liked him, you would try more and you would go harder. Oh my God. It took everything. Did I walk out? I might have walked out. I might have left work that day. She had me hot. I went home and called my grandma and told my grandma, this woman said I don't like these kids. I don't like this, and this woman won't help me with this bad boy. This boy bad. And my grandma said, baby, do you like the boy? And you know what I told her? I said, well, you know what, Mom, I really don't like the boy. I really don't like him. It was my first time admitting. It was the first time me admitting to myself. And we as grown-ups, we don't like to say that about kids, and we don't like to say that, but we done had
Yes.
some kids in our life. I don't care, especially if you're educated. You don't have one kid, you like, I really just don't like that child right there. That child's spirit bad. I don't like it. But what happened was, I didn't like Kaden because I didn't understand him. My grandma sat there and told me, she said, you don't like him, baby, because you don't understand who he is.
Yes.
She
Wow.
said, you don't understand where he go to. She said you need to go out and do something with it. And when she said do something, the first thing I thought about was he played mini league football. I said I'm gonna start going to his mini league football game.
Games. Oh.
Went start going to his mini football game league. Just found out that Kaden just was rough. He needed some tough love. He needs somebody to really be on him all the time and making show him some attention that he loved because he was a star player. All he knew was attention, attention, attention. I wasn't giving him that, so he went and did things in the classroom to get it. No
Yes.
matter if it was positive or negative, he did it. So once I understood that, I started going to the Dollar Tree, started getting extra things and little cars and trucks and stuff that I figured that he liked, and he liked the marbles. Boy became one of the best students in my classroom. I cried when he left. But that was one of the worst instances of my career that turned out to be not only a worse one. Let me tell you a little bit more. Before I even got to going to his game, I went up there and I went back the next day and I told my director, I said, you know what? I said, you right. I said, I didn't like Caden Scott. I said, but you know what? I said, you didn't offer me no training to get me better, to make me better in challenging behavior. Oh, she said, you ain't got to say number one word. Put me in training the same day. Went to the training called SEEDS, social emotional early development training. So, but it's called SEEDS.
Hmm.
That training to this day has been one of the best trainings that stuck with me for the rest of my years of teaching. It taught me how to learn a kid from a social emotional point, how to get down socially and socially interact with a kid and talk to them to emotionally understand them and where they're coming from. It taught me how to use puzzles, books, social emotional dolls, social emotional stickers, activity sheets,
Yes.
how to do self control techniques to keep your emotions down. Like once I learned that from a standpoint of an educator and how to equip this in your classroom and how to meet the needs of a student, I ain't been the same since.
Wow.
And it helped me meet the need of Caden. And Caden, like I said, became one of the best students in my classroom. I had no more disciplinary forms or incidents in the classroom. And then when he did do something or redirect in a negative way, I was able to get him back so fast that he didn't even understand why he was upset. He just wanted to give me a hug and just cry on my leg. It was just so God. It was just the grace of God. And in that, like I say, terrible moment when I felt like I was just being belittled and just tore down and just one misunderstood, God was still uplifting me in the same sense. So that was one of my bad moments that turned out to be one of my best moments ever. It was
Yeah.
one of my life changing moments.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. You've been really impactful on these young people, Mr. J.
Yeah, but they've been helping me too. As
Yeah.
you can see, I got story for everything.
And you know what? That's something that I when I talk to some of my family members, because I've been an educator for 18 years, and I was talking to my brother the other day, and he was like, "Man, you be doing your thing." He said, "Them kids keeping you young."
Yeah,
I believe that.
yeah,
When you
yeah.
are around children in that space and you're really interacting with them or what have you, you have no other choice but to be young.
I feel like God keep us young because He know we need it. We need,
Yeah.
He know we need that little young energy still. Even when we age a little bit, He keep. You know one thing about educators, all educators can still run a little bit. They can goddamn run. It might not be a month, but God always give us enough just to show 'em we still got it a little bit. I love that for us. I love that for us. We might need a little inhaler after, but we still be a little fast. I
Look,
love it because there's a lot of people that can't
quickly
do
on
it.
the ease. Yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I agree. So, for our listeners out there, male or females, who are feeling a pull towards childhood education, what is the single most important quality or trait you would say they would need to succeed and be fulfilled in this work?
Always have patience. Always have patience. Always be coachable. Always be teachable. Coachable and teachable are two different things. Being coachable is being able to watch somebody from afar and learn something from them as they're doing what they're doing.
Mhm.
Being teachable, once they do, or once you do accept that you want to be taught by that person, you're able to listen without having the ear like, oh, you can't tell me what to do. You ain't been teaching longer than me and things like that. You never know who God is sending to you to teach you the little things in life to help you be equipped enough to meet the needs of these babies. So always have patience, always be coachable, and always be teachable. These three things, you're gonna be a perfect intentional educator.
Wow, thank you for that. I appreciate that. I appreciate your time. So thank you so much for joining us today. We'll give you some of your time back.
Yes,
Thank you for
thank you.
your journey. Your story is proof that teaching is more than a job. It's a calling,
Yes,
a
it's
commitment,
calling.
and
Yes,
sometimes even a little adventure.
Sometimes a little adventure.
Absolutely. So what you shared today reminds us that early childhood education isn't just about ABCs and one, two, threes. It's about building trusting relationships,
Yeah,
challenging misconceptions, and showing up every day for children in ways that helps them feel accepted.
yes.
Thank you for that, and we appreciate all the work you're doing now and the work that you'll do in the future.
Thank you so much for having me. And please don't let this be the last time. I love coming on your podcast and speaking the truth and the real and just letting people see, like you say, my perception as an educator from a man standpoint, especially as an African American man. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity.
Oh, you're welcome. And we will definitely connect again and continue to advocate for these babies and these
Yeah.
parents. And y'all pray for us,
Pray
educators.
for us. Thank
Well,
you, man. Pray for us. Yes.
absolutely. And to our listeners, it only takes one person to spark curiosity, build confidence, and change the narrative of a child or for a child. Excuse me, I got a little cold, y'all. This has been another episode of Best Practices Unveiled, raw, unfiltered, and always judgment free. So until next
Yeah.
time, keep evolving.
Bye. See you
Take care.
guys soon.
To everyone listening, this is a space where diversity and innovation are created. If you'd like to be a guest or collaborate, I'd love to hear from you. Email me at AnnetteE05@gmail.com, or you can message me on Instagram at TrueGoddess14. Let's keep planting seeds, building relationships, knowledge, and understanding. Until next time, keep evolving.